look behind the frontline.
Were at risk for depressive disorder, and just under half
people of the country. It is our collective responsibility to protect them.
The health of your family is key to your success. You do your thing. We've got this covered. ProfMed, intelligent medical aid for professionals.
I must first apologise for that piece we attempted to play. We did have a problem with the audio. We're going to sort it out. I'm sure we'll play it later in the programme this evening. But let's now go to the Money Desk. Devon Morrigan joining us. Good evening, Devon. So good news for shopping malls. They reckon more people are shopping.
Indeed. I mean, the focus is on the property group Liberty 2 Degrees, Sally. It's experienced a steady increase in activity at its malls after a further easing of the country's lockdown restrictions earlier this month. So Liberty 2 owns the likes of Melrose Arch and the Sandton Convention Centre. The group's saying in a trading update that the latest weekend foot count across the portfolio is at 80% of 2019 levels. Weekend foot traffic in Sandton City, for instance, sitting at 85% compared to the same period last year. Midlands Mall is at 88%, and Eastgate Mall seeing a staggering 97% foot traffic compared to last year. So it's almost the same as the same period last year. Rental collections are also improving. The group saying based on the full amounts due and before any rental relief, rent collections increasing to 74% at the end of August. You'll know in the April stringent lockdown months, 38% was the figure. So some good news there. Let's hope it has traction, Sally.
Yeah, we certainly need it. I mean, tomorrow, absolutely crucial data about our unemployment rate is due. We're already, I believe, the worst in the world. And I don't see it getting any better, but I hope I'm wrong.
It's staggering. It's something that's unpalatable when it comes to this economy, and analysts are expecting those numbers to get worse. When Statistics South Africa releases, Sally, the unemployment rate for April to June, that's the second quarter. Remember, what's interesting is that it will be the first official indication of job losses during the lockdown. In the first 3 months of the year, the country's official jobless rate rising to 30.1%. Economists expect that rate to jump to just under 35% in the second quarter. When discouraged job seekers are considered, then the amount of working-age people in South Africa without jobs reaches a staggering 11 million. The Bureau for Economic Research believes close to 1 million more people were left without work during those tight lockdown months of April to May. And because of lockdown restrictions, by the way, Stats SA collecting data via computer-assisted telephone interviews instead of face-to-face questions. But all the more reasons for government to get its act together, get this economy going, and we'll see how dire the situation is tomorrow around about 11:30, Sally.
But some good news, not a bad Monday on the markets.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a massive turnaround. Great day on the all share. It's just a pity that what happens on the markets isn't a good indication of what's going on in the economy. There's no direct parallel there. But the reason we are doing well is because we're in line with global markets. Although investors are concerned, Sally, about a second coronavirus wave, there's some good news or good economic numbers coming out of China. That is the world's second largest economy, so it's adding some optimism in the market. The rand, unfortunately, still on the bad side of 17 rand to the US dollar. Let's take a look at the figures.
With ProfMed, you stay focused on your hustle, while we stay focused on your medical care. ProfMed, intelligent medical aid for professionals.
Now let's return to that piece I was telling you about a little earlier. It's a new documentary by a Cape Town doctor. It's called Behind the Frontline. It's by Dr. Adil Khan, and it's looking at the often toxic work environments that doctors are exposed to. Our reporter in Cape Town, Nobesuthu Hejana, has the story.
I was just coming to work for the sake of coming to work, but I didn't really feel like I was a doctor within the group.
They work under stressful and emotionally draining conditions. As a result, many doctors suffer from depression or anxiety, with some even quitting the profession. This is according to Dr. Adil Khan.
The intention was not to necessarily name and shame anybody. It wasn't necessarily to be inflammatory or accusatory, but it was there to start this conversation about transformation in the field.
The documentary took more than 2 years to finish, and doctors featured in it are calling for change.
When it comes to bullying, abuse and mistreatment, where someone is in a situation and they feel uncomfortable, but they're not sure why or how, they have been met with, well, we all go through this. We've all been through that, so just suck it up and move on.
Doctors are humans. So where do we go for that comfort, for debriefing, for the support? And I think that's what often leads to the being emotionally depleted, and then you come off as cold.
The Western Cape Health Department says it's currently investigating.
We had a couple of recent cases. By recent, I mean quite a few months ago. And we've investigated that, and these are still in fact under investigation.
The health department says the issues raised in the documentary aren't new, and it has been taking tough actions against those found guilty of committing such acts. Nobesuthu Hejana, Cape Town.